Hi everyone, alongside Mike Trossel, I'm Dave Gianco. Thanks for joining us again for a U.S. Open Classic finish. The U.S. Women's Open returned to Pine Needles for the third time in 2007, and a third round 66 catapulted Cristie Kerr into the lead in her quest for her first major championship title.
But in close pursuit was Brazil's Angela Park, U.S. Women's Amateur Champion Morgan Pressel, who had come so close in 2005, and the top-ranked player in the world, Lorena Ochoa.
Yeah, Mike, two early birdies brought Ochoa back into a dead heat with Kerr, and we'll pick up the action early on the back nine.
Back at the par 4 11th here at Pine Needles, Morgan Pressel has already hit the fairway at this 376-yard par 4. Now Ochoa.
Just going down the right side of the fairway a wee bit.
And just in good shape again. Didn't swing real hard at that one, but used herself a short iron into this green. Definitely a birdie opportunity, Roger, on this hole.
I think so, John.
After that tee shot.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It's not particularly a tough pin, I don't believe. Shot will play back into the wind. Medium iron shot.
35 feet down to the fairway as you kind of lose sight of the ball from the other side. Camera view. That's what the players are dealing with.
Now this one turned to the left.
She crossed the line at the top there, Dottie.
And that's what she's been fighting. She says at this point right now, she has to get the club feeling like it's laid off for it to be in the perfect position.
She had it in great shape, and then the last half a foot of her swing, it went right over to the right.
Last two tee shots left.
Let's take a look at this, and you'll see beautiful setup, setting down the left side. Everything's good there. Why, good, 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 good.
Now stop,
Not
but she
good.
doesn't.
See that last little tick of her swing? And usually if you're doing that, your right elbow raises at the last second to get some leverage, and that kicks the club across the line. If the right elbow tucks, it'll actually lay off.
Let's go to 9.
And Annika Sorenstam completing her championship with a birdie putt here at the 9th. Saw the score +8. And it really was the second round of 77 that kind of put Annika behind the 8 ball. Just her third tournament back now after the herniated disc in the neck.
All right, so the search continues for Annika, who hasn't won in nearly 10 months, but there were a couple of highlights. And the birdie here for Annika at the par 3 16th. That ruptured disc taking her out of action for quite some time. So it's still a building process for Annika to get back to the old Annika. But watch this long bomb at 17.
Dottie, the thing I like about her right now, she seems to be very patient about the whole thing.
Well, I think she's got a great perspective, and certainly much more perspective in her entire life than she's ever had before.
Yeah, it just seems like she's sort of relaxed right now and saying, hey, it'll come. When you have as much talent as she does, it's just a case of working at it, and it's coming.
Over at the 12th, Sayri Pak for a par.
After a chip from the back of the green, Gary. Just about 6 feet.
Good stroke.
Well done.
Sayri Pak remains one over par for the championship.
Her sister designs those clothes, Donnie.
Her sister designs those clothes.
Kind of a nautical look here in the Sandhills.
It's definitely a cool look.
It is.
Good job.
As we look down from above, NB Park will have this putt for a par to remain at 1 under.
And Gary, she pulled her approach shot over the bunker to the back, right between the 13th tee and the 12th green, a little sand wedge pitch to this point. Been playing quite steadily. Nice birdie on the 10th hole.
All right, nice speed, catches the low side of the hole and still drops. So she'll remain at 1 under and 3 off the lead. We go ahead to the par 3 16th, 169 yards. Paula Creamer with a 6 iron.
Saw her play with this pink ball this morning, and she said, you know, the white one wasn't going in, so I think I'll play with it the last 2 rounds instead of just the last one.
Well, I hate to tell her, but this one's not reacting a whole lot better, Daddy. She's +1 in her final round and 5 over for the championship. Sometimes they just don't listen.
Look at the hole location at 11, Gary, and Cristie Kerr is next to play, Raj.
She is. Has drawn a pretty good line really over here. Could have been much worse. 172 to the hole.
What about that little waist area, Roger? Is that in play with this lie?
I think she'd have to badly miss-hit it, John. I think her lie's good enough that it wouldn't be an issue just because of the lie.
Okay. But it could have been a real issue on the bad lie.
If she lost her lie, I think then it could have really been an issue. Ball's going to be a little bit below her feet.
He's already made 2 bogeys on this hole this far in the championship.
Her eyes keep looking left, Roger. I'm watching her line.
Well, you run out of green on the right-hand side. The ball could get away from you and get through the green. And the green does slope a little left to right, so maybe why she's looking over there.
It's about 15 feet of green beyond the hole, and then it is gone.
Go. Go.
And this ball turned
Right,
at the
right, right,
very
right,
left
right.
side of the green.
Right. Hit.
And she will talk a lot to her ball like Morgan Pressel. The banter just continues all day. And back over to 12.
And the second shot for Angela Park, this from 165 yards. Driven it right to the top of the hill. This 400-yard par 4 playing a little shorter today as the wind is helping. And if this will hold, this will leave a nice putt for a birdie, and it does. And Johnny, another good shot from Park.
Yeah, I just expect it with that swing of hers.
Back at 11.
Pressel now.
She needs to get one close, Roger.
This from 163, and this one's turned a little bit left to the hole.
Okay, she's talking.
That's makeable. Maybe she makes them only from off the green today, Dottie.
It's seeming that way at this point. She makes a 6-8 footers for pars, but chips in on all the rest.
The birdies are from off the green. Good birdie opportunity here, Roger.
Yeah, just 137 left to the hole. Great angle. A little bit of an uphill slope here. Ball system's good, John.
Leads the tour this year in greens and regulation.
In a lot of different categories.
Lots of categories.
And
Wins.
pound for pound, the longest hitter probably on tour, right?
Averages over 270 yards, weighs 115 pounds. Soaking wet, I think.
Still tops in greens in regulation this week at better than 80%.
This is left of the hole.
That one just off the edge, but still not bad. So Ochoa and Kerr still looking for their first major championships. Leaders by 2. Third U.S. Women's Open being staged here at Pine Needles in a 12-year span. That is unprecedented. And it becomes only the second course to host this championship 3 times. And Christy Kerr trying to put this one away today, tied for the lead with Lorena Ochoa. And they're at the 11th.
Well, this ball's come to rest on top of a little knob here, just left of the green. So when it gets through the fringe and under the green, it's really starting to run away from her a little bit. This putt's slightly downhill overall.
Go. 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 Break. Break, 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 break.
Go and bite.
Go, break, bite.
I'm confused. How about you?
All sorts of things. 16.
And the birdie putt for Paula Creamer. This one slightly back uphill, turning a little to the left.
It's a good looking stroke. Just didn't have enough pace.
Very slow, huh, Gary?
Yes, quite a bit uphill there. We go to 13.
This was a moment ago, Gary. 190-yard par 3. John Jang, who is at +2, was a contender last year at Newport before she faded in the final round with an 80 after being charged a penalty shot for hitting the ball more than once on one shot up the 18th. But a nice one there for JJ. And back at 11, we've got Lorena Ochoa.
Well, this is about a 25-footer that is downhill. She got a good idea of the speed from watching Christy Kerr's.
Aiming pretty far left, huh, Dottie?
Yeah.
Fortunate to have stayed up.
Watch out.
rolls beyond Kerr's mark.
And I'll tell you, under open pressure, when you haven't won a major, there's a lot of value to just cozying those putts as close as you can. Forget about trying to make them, because there's just too much pressure to leave yourself 5-footers.
Very fine line between continuing to play aggressive as she does best, but being able to make it easy on yourself.
Yeah. Pick your spots, you know. If you hit it close, fine, let's knock it in. But if not, 2 putts are nice.
To 12.
Jie Shin, lengthy putt for a birdie. Chance to get to 3 under, Mark.
Yes, it's not an easy putt though, Gary, and it gets very quick down at the hole.
Big swing from right to left. Back to 11.
Now Morgan Pressel with the putter through the fringe, Raj.
The first couple of feet are through the fringe and uphill, but it's going to start turning the birdie over to the left. You see weight right here.
I thought she should have chipped that. Well, it's fast. Look at this. Maybe she didn't know what she was doing after all.
It looked like he was going to get
Look like
his way there.
Short. That was quick, Roger.
Yep.
I think she's happy that it did better than she even thought.
Yeah.
I think.
Certainly
Because
better
it
than
really
we thought.
grabbed the first 2 feet.
Beware of the early call here.
Oh,
Let's go to 12.
Yeah, it could have gone in. It would have really looked good.
All right, Angela Park with a chance to get to 3 under.
And another very makeable putt, Gary. I would think it could be real easy for her to start getting frustrated because she has hit it very close the last few balls.
Geez, she's hit it close all week.
Dottie, she must make some. She's second on the LPGA Tour in birdies made for the year.
Just has lots of chances. Bide your time.
Watch out for Angela.
Now within 1 of the lead. Back to 11.
All par putts left here. Ochoa eyeing it.
Now, this is almost 6 feet in length. Uphill. I wouldn't think there'd be a lot of break in this if she hits it firm.
She's been fighting the putter getting too inside too quickly.
Well, that was a good stroke.
And that is 8 straight pars for Ochoa after the birdie start.
I would have to think, Roger, that putt right there could really help her down the stretch.
Could really help her confidence.
Yeah, I really believe that was very important. She looks very relieved.
John Jang over 13. Nicely done. Moves it to +1.
Talk about relieved.
Back to 11 for Christy Kerr's par putt.
Watch how she hits through these putts, Dottie and Roger. She has more follow through on these kind of putts than anybody I can remember. She really hits through them well.
Got a Crenshaw sort of tempo.
See how far she follows through though? I'm coveting that a little bit. I haven't done that since I was 12.
Yeah, that was
Kinda
announcer
tells you the
envy.
nerves are- Doesn't it? Sounds like the nerves are good when you can do that. doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, big putt here for Pressel. Not much left, Raj.
No, not much left. This is right down the fall line here from this part of the green, so just straight in.
Just to stay within 2. Pressel keeps her hopes alive for winning 2 of the ladies' first 3 major championships of this season. Trying to go 2 for 2 in that department for her first 2 wins as a professional here. And now we've got the NBCSports.com lined up for you for the U.S. Women's Open wrap-up show presented by Lexus for highlights and player interviews immediately after our telecast. Been a busy website all week long. There's been so many weather-related suspensions that began on Thursday with that 3-hour and 42-minute delay, 10+ hours of delays all week long. So it's been catch-up week, but MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 has been here for most of it, although he has left the area a couple times when the weather got too electric. Congratulations to the MetLife Blimps as they celebrate their 20th anniversary this year. MetLife guarantees for the ifs in life.
They give us some great shots, don't they?
They also threw that thing into overdrive a couple of times Thursday and Friday. Weather moved fast.
There has been some wild stuff through here, but this is the best weather day so far. A lot of that humidity's gone. Nice breezes in the air and no weather problems today.
This is yours, Gary.
Morgan Pressel on the tee at 12.
Okay.
They like it. Somebody says okay.
Pronounced draw into the center of the fairway.
Trying to climb that hill about 255 yards to get it to the top. A new tee here, some 50 yards back. John Fote added that in the renovation restoration that he did.
John Fote did a super job here, didn't he? To get
I would agree, Johnny. Used some aerial photos from 1939 to recapture some of the bunkers and remove some bunkers and raised a few greens.
8 holes where their players will play right into the hill faces, making the golf course play longer than its yardage.
It's a big advantage for Lorena this hole, isn't it?
I would think so.
The ball did go in the rough, though.
Just ever so slightly. We go ahead to 13.
And here is Angela Park, who is in solo third here, just one shot back.
190 yards this afternoon, and the wind has picked up a little bit now. It is from the left and into the players here at 13.
Any of you young girls out there or players that want to get good, just take a photo of this in your mind.
That was a swing good for anybody.
You remarked Ben Hogan-esque, Johnny, earlier.
The follow through is just so cool. I mean, just right on the money.
Park is lined up for another birdie. Her putting stroke does look better in this afternoon round.
And back at 12, Christy Kerr. She struggled a little bit on this hole. Has made 2 bogeys and 1 par in the first 3 rounds. That would be a good swing. You heard the caddy say okay. And it is right in the heart of the fairway and just climbing to the top of the hill. So she'll have a clear look at the green. So Lorena Ochoa and Christy Kerr tied atop the leaderboard in the final round of the 67th U.S. Women's Open. We'll be right back.
The U.S. Women's Open Championship is being brought to you by Lincoln Financial Group for the means and financial confidence to say hello future. And by The Villages, Florida's friendliest hometown. Visit today at thevillages.com. And if you're interested in next year's championship, it's a good one at a great spot. Interlochen Country Club hosts for the first time this U.S. Women's Open. You see the dates there. You see the website, the telephone number. Get your tickets and take a look at the course where Bobby Jones won the 1930 U.S. Open on his way to the Slam, 3rd of the 4 legs of that Slam season back in 1930. Great history there.
It's another great golf course.
Another Donald Ross.
People will fall in love with this one. I tell you, and Minneapolis, what great golf fans. She's a great competitor.
I can't wait for you to captain her on a Solheim Cup team someday.
That would be a blast.
All right, Pressel second at 12.
176, wind helping.
Semi-blind, it looks like.
Harry.
Asking for it to get up a little bit. There's a fall off over there.
Thank you.
Will it stay? Okay.
That due in part to the rain overnight.
Yeah, very much so, Dottie.
These greens are running 13s on the stem meter, Gary.
Very smooth putting surfaces. They were redone in the renovation as well. A1 bent grass put down. And very smooth, very quick.
The entire place was redone, Gary, in a span of about 6 months. Fairways taken out, following the sand lines on the greens. I mean, this was quite a project in a short period of time.
Well, they were blessed. John Fote told me that they had a very dry summer. And that was was one of the things that allowed them to get it done that quickly.
Plus, you got this wonderful sand in this area to work with, which really helps.
All right, Ochoa's second.
As for 150, Paul sitting down just a little bit. Pretty good lie, though. This ball right of the hole. Comes up on the front portion of the green.
That showed some experience there. Don't chase that from the left.
No, because anything past that hole location will have a tendency to run right off the green. The entire back third of the green runs away.
And I would say you probably only have to get it about 4 paces past the hole or so when that would happen.
I would agree, Roger. I've seen a number of balls in exactly that location today.
Well, who's going to flinch first, guys? It'll be interesting to see how well these two players, great players, have never won a major, or whether they can play good golf down the stretch or whether they just want it too badly.
Well, they'd better not forget about Angela Park.
I know. Yeah.
You have to be almost the one that stands there and says to yourself, I will not be the one to flinch first.
Maybe it's kind of an advantage for an 18-year-old opposed to score early out in front of the final group. See if she can get it done that way.
Talking about Angela Park there.
Goes from 149, and this flamed at the right side of the green.
That's the same swing she's been talking about making all week long, where she comes up and out of it, Johnny. Comes out of her posture.
Well, the bottom line, she's leaving the face open. You can talk all you want about everything, but if you just square the face up at the bottom, that's all you got to do. Don't worry about all the other stuff.
Yeah, up at 13.
And here is Angela Park. Again, just 18 years old, has had shares of leads in tournaments this season on now 4 occasions, was the first and second round leader here.
Dan, she just had a real long look at the leaderboard that's above this 13th green, so she knows exactly where she stands.
Again, born in Brazil, moved to California at a young age. Speaks 3 different languages, Portuguese, Korean, and English.
Got a birdie on the last hole. Maybe another one here.
It's not a hard putt. 13 or 14 feet, I would say.
For share of the lead.
Par putt should be no problem for Angela Park to stay within 1 of Ochoa and Kerr. Trying to become the youngest women's major champion in history.
Welcome back to Pine Needles Lodge and Golf Club, Southern Pines, North Carolina. Final round of the 67th, second U.S. Women's Open Championship, and a great look down from above at just a beautiful golf course. Very playable golf course, Johnny.
You can see why Donald Ross spent the last many years of his life in this area. He said, this is it. This is the spot for a golfer to be.
48 years of his life over at number 2 on that course. Designed this course, obviously. This was his home.
And Christy Kerr now with a lengthy putt for birdie.
This uphill should move to her left.
We update the amateur leaderboard. Jennifer Song for par at 18 for +9, so +10 for Jennifer Song. A final round 76 for her. And then over at the 9th on the other side, this was Jenny Lee for par to tie that +10 number.
A nice medal if she can make it.
You know, I thought I'd lost mine, and I found it in February.
All right.
Yep.
Good for you.
I thought I'd lost it. It is a very beautiful medal.
And from what championship is that from?
That was from '84.
Got mine in way back when, 1966 at Olympic.
4 of 23 amateurs made the cut. As we get back to 12.
And Pressel's effort for birdie.
Plus 2, uphill all the way. Has to move a little to the left in the area of the cup, doesn't it, Gary?
It should, Roger, yes. Good pace, but always a little left. Good par, though. Ahead to 13.
Checking with G.A. Shin. This was a moment ago for par at 13. Stay at 2 under. Remember, Shin was the overnight leader at 5 under through 10 holes of her 3rd round. Played her last 8 holes and +2 this morning. So we go back to 12.
And Ochoa will be last to attempt her birdie putt.
I like that little coin flip she does every time she picks up her marker. she's kinda, like she's flipping a coin.
Keeps her in the rhythm, right?
Yeah. I'll have to watch that on camera next time.
Similar putt to the other two. Up the hill, moving a little left. Is it firm enough? Nope.
Gary, didn't you used to snap your fingers when you were making all those putts as a kid?
I've heard rumors you did. I used to just kind of smile and go pick it out of the hole.
Oh, yeah.
Rumor says you didn't miss many either.
Well, you know, you have to be good at something. Fortunately, I could putt.
There it is.
There
Whoops,
was that
she
little flip.
fumbled
She
a
dropped her
tee.
tee and she didn't even know it.
Still doesn't know it.
No.
All right, safely in. She remains at 4 under.
Whoa!
Just
Smashed
stepped
the
on
tee
it.
and still doesn't know. That's embedded.
Well, when you're in the last group, you can do about anything you want.
Certainly not going to bother anybody behind you, are you?
No.
And here's the coin flip we were talking about. Does it every single time she remarks the ball. Seems to be pretty relaxed, Dottie.
Well, that's kind of her demeanor.
As Christy Kerr has this short one for a par to remain at 4 under as well. Safely in. So the final threesome all par of the 12th. Ochoa and Kerr 4 under. Russell at 2. We move ahead to 14.
Big tee shot for Angela Park. 1 off the lead. This is a tough par 4.
I'll tell you what, the next over an hour is not going to be a walk in the park for any of these players. This is heavy pressure.
Pick the tee up quickly, Johnny.
Shot.
So Angela Park in a good spot at 14. And tomorrow from the All England Lawn Tennis Club at Wimbledon, the world's best tennis players compete at the most storied championship in tennis. It's the Championships Wimbledon tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time and Pacific on NBC.
It's always fun to watch Wimbledon.
It is a good one. So is this one. 190-yard par 3, 13th, the final group. And it'll be Pressel.
The hole cut 22 paces onto the green, playing back into the wind, but a shot that plays downhill.
Good news, there is some back to front tilt, which will stop these long shots from running long. You can hit it on the right side and they'll kick left.
Come on, get there. Get there.
I think she likes it.
Go. Go.
She went from get there to go. There you go. Very nice. See how softly she makes the ball land?
Only player whose first 2 wins were majors, Sayri Pak, back in 1998 when she won that LPGA championship, and then the Women's Open at Black Wolf Run, and that is what Morgan Pressel is trying to pull off here. Turned pro out of high school, just like Christy Kerr. In fact, other than Lorena Ochoa, every player under par on the leaderboard right now turned professional as a teenager with absolutely no collegiate golf experience.
Yeah, if Pressel could win 2 majors at 19 years old. That's a good jump start, Dottie, on your career.
Yeah, I take that.
Kerr's been out here for 10 years since turning pro out of high school in '97. Wouldn't be easy when she first came out, was it, Dottie?
It wasn't easy. She'll tell you that she was a bit of a fish out of water. She learned by the veritable school of hard knocks.
She changed everything, right? She changed her physique. She changed her
Lost
swing.
50 pounds.
Yeah.
Totally made a transformation. In the meantime, this player at the University of Arizona had one of the finest collegiate careers in history.
Crazy good.
Knew that wildcat partiality would come out at some point.
She won
Just the facts, Daddy. Just
12
the
college
facts.
wins.
Thank you, Johnny.
She had just 12. Unbelievable out of 20 starts.
Oh, yeah. So there's all sorts of different ways to have success at this level. Earlier in this championship, we saw Michelle Wie drop out with the injured wrist, so her saga continues. But check this out. Look at all the events for Ochoa and Kerr and then Pressel, and then she's got what Ochoa and Kerr are looking for, that one major.
And to think she came one shot from having that first major before she even turned professional.
Right. We could be seeing her going for 3-3, rather easily had not Birdie Kim hold out that shot at Cherry Hills. But here's Kerr, who has had just one other 54-hole lead in a major. It was back at the '99 McDonald's LPGA. She was tied with Julie Inkster, who went on to win. Kerr finished tied for 5th. Kerr was 21 years old back then, so hasn't had a lot of experience even, going to the final round with a lead.
See if she's going to square up that club face. She's been leaving it open. She likes it.
Walking this one up.
A little right, but not bad.
Maybe we should have included Christy Kerr in our Morgan Pressel Dottie Pepper package. That vocal, you deserve to get in there. High above the par 3 13th green here at Pine Needles Lodge and Golf Club, Southern Pines, North Carolina, set to crown another U.S. Women's Open champion. Is it going to be Ochoa, Kerr, their first majors? Angela Park make history as the youngest ever? We're in the middle of the back nine here.
Yeah, or Morgan Pressel maybe with a charge. Who knows? Might not even have to have a charge on Roger with the nerves coming up.
You never can tell what happens in these things, can you?
No.
Yeah,
Pars,
indeed.
if you keep stacking up pars, it's pretty good in these things.
Especially with the finish coming up. This hole, the 14th, the 17th.
Is there much here, Roger?
I don't see much breaking in, John. It might go a little bit to the left.
Morgan began her week with a spider bite on her ankle, which swelled up, but it has since calmed down. But that's how she kind of began the week.
She's definitely looking out to the right like there's a foot of break. Well, she saw something that wasn't there. It was pretty darn straight.
Over the par 4 14th after a very good drive. Park with 187 left. Again at a hole which has not yielded very many birdies all championship week. Just 10 total.
Third toughest hole this week, 4.45 average, and she missed out there by about a foot or two.
Up ahead to 15.
This just a moment ago, Dan, and this is how the 15th hole has changed. Now playing downwind, Sayree Pak from 259 yards to the hole.
You're right.
Good solid 3-wood. Chases the ball right up onto the green. So we have not seen an eagle here all week. But downwind now, perhaps. Go back to 13.
Roger, what about Christy Kerr here?
Well, I do think this putt moved just a little bit to her left. And it's slightly uphill from this angle.
Not that close from there for a straight putt. That's pretty far left.
And back to that par 5 15th.
Where Inbee Park is close to the green in 2. Jane, the third shot?
Yes, just a little pitch from 20 yards to the front. Hole today located in the back part of the green, 24 on a little knoll.
What cool motion that was.
That was sweet there, buddy.
Beautifully played. So she'll have good opportunity to make birdie and get to 2 under. We go back to 13.
Can you believe how low she kept the club after she hit it?
Held it.
Right on the ground.
And now Kerr to remain at 4 under. Steady round going, all pars, 1 birdie, 1 bogey. And back to Angela Park at 14, who just didn't quite have enough on that second shot.
Just caught the corner by her golf bag. Not a hard shot, though.
Angela Park is moving closer to home at 3 under.
And that's a half birdie right there, if you ask me. And
Yep, on a difficult hole, you bet. Back to 13. Ochoa.
here's a chance for her to get the lead finally, Roger.
Yeah, that's not a hard-looking putt at all. This is pretty simple here. I would think she'd hold this putt, with my sense.
See if she keeps her head reasonably steady.
She's aiming left. It moved right on Roger.
Well, that's surprising. I didn't think it would do that, but as a loft speed, it did dribble to the right.
15.
A lengthy eagle putt for Se-Ri Pak.
And Gary, about 40 feet, spoken to me walking up this hole, just a little frustrated. Hasn't had a whole lot of good luck so far today, but could change it right here.
1 birdie, 1 bogey, even par in her final round.
Gary, this is the player who really started it all, right?
She did, by winning this championship back in 1998.
You mean the sensation in Korea?
More Koreans made the cut, by the way, than Americans at this championship, 26 to 25. That's how much of an impact Pak's success has been. Now for her par. Pressel hanging right there, 2 back. With 5 to play. And a moment ago, Jie Shin coming out of the bunker.
Another easy bunker shot. Just can't get any easier than that bunker shot.
And Shin is on a roll. All pars, just 1 bogey at the 4th. Who's going to come out on top in the biggest one of them all, the United States Women's Open? 6 players under par. All have a chance. Back after this. Crucial tee shots for the final group. Morgan Pressel is in the first cut with her drive. Now Lorena Ochoa, who's been hitting it as long as we can ever remember.
And this is the hole she hit the shot of the championship. We might see that again.
Well, going with the same club off the tee that she hit in the right bunker and then hold it from there for eagle in round 1.
Her distance advantage could really show up here.
Great shot. Great shot.
This going down the left center of the fairway.
Needs to settle.
Well, she didn't get all of it, but it's sitting up, Roger. It's pretty darn good. Good angle.
Just like Pressel in that first cut.
Yeah.
Ochoa just a little ahead.
Ochoa put her smooth swing on that one.
All right, Kerr. 41 majors for Kerr, 10 top 10s, the best, a tie for second in the Women's Open back in 2000 and the Women's British Open in last year.
This is a big tee shot for her because this could, be a pretty sure bogey if she doesn't hit a good drive.
This too going down the left center, left side of the fairway.
Right,
should be all right.
It's a good long hit for her.
Just about up there with Ochoa.
Yeah, it was nice.
Par 5, 15th.
In B Park for birdie after that nifty little pitch from short of the green. Pretty straight putt here. Nicely done, and the young lady who has only made 6 cuts in her previous 13 events on the LPGA Tour and best finish of 45th is in some pretty high cotton right now. At the 15th, Angela Park on the tee. know if she has the length to reach this par 5 and 2. She was asked earlier in the week. She said, "I'm not a long hitter, and this is a long golf course." That nicely done.
Well, Dottie, Johnny, got a feeling here as we're midway through the back 9 here at U.S. Women's Open Championship Sunday on who's going to come out on top. Ochoa and Kerr, majorless, tied for the lead right now. But then you got Pressel, and you've got some people behind them in B Park. Jie Shin at 2 under.
Well, I'm not going to say who I think is going to win, but I think the 15th and the 17th are going to be crucial. I think Gary brought up a great point that finally the 15th is playing downwind. We're going to get a shot there. And this is one of those players you can't count out either.
B Park's tee shot at 16.
And this one headed right, Gary.
Oh, and catches one of those shoulders and heads toward the bunker. That was not a good shot.
Yeah. I think one thing to look at, this golf course seems to produce the best player in the game. Have you noticed that?
Well, Webb and Sorenstam.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, and who's the best player right now? Joe. So, I mean, maybe this course.
Okay, it's a done deal.
You know, maybe this course is saying, hey, we give you what you deserve.
Okay, Lorena's going to play 15 and 17 great and come out the winner. Got it.
All right, and Mexico will erupt. 16.
Sairi Pak on the tee. She was able to tap in her short putt for birdie and has moved to even par.
What's your feeling, Gary, on who might do this?
Well, I think we got a lot of interesting golf left. Obviously, Ochoa's length you would think would be to an advantage for her on 15, but got some solid finishing holes at 16, 17, and 18 as well.
Winning that first major when you've won a lot of tournaments and haven't got it is really a burden, isn't it?
I wouldn't know, but I would think it would be a very tough thing to do. You want to get that monkey off your back to where you don't have to answer that question all the time. When are you going to win the first one?
Well, certainly didn't take this gal very long to win her first.
Well, she needs a super finish.
First 2.
I think she needs to get to -2 for any chance at all.
Well, she looks it over. We'll go back to 14.
And Morgan Pressel, you saw her in that first cut.
Lie not an issue here. It's a good lie. 201 yards up the hill.
What would this be for her? Is this maybe a 5-wood or something?
I would think that'd be about right, John.
She's got to hit it, though. It's uphill.
Now the wind's coming from the right, maybe helping a little bit.
She'll swing hard. Watch, she'll come out of her shoes.
Never leaves anything.
That's as hard as she can hit it.
This is going left.
Got a good little hop. She's been making them from off the green, so watch out. Well, she knows it's okay.
16.
Just a moment ago, Sairi Pak's tee shot. Appeared to come out of it just a little bit.
Boy, hit the trees.
Wow.
I didn't know those trees were in play.
I didn't either, and actually got a great break, Johnny. A big kick back to the left.
Yeah, nice level little chip across a lot of the green. So, yeah, that was a real wiper.
Back at 14.
Christy Kerr. Roger.
190 to the hole. Again, as we said earlier, her miss has been kind of coming up out of her posture and leaving it right. You do not want to miss right here today.
Well, the only thing good is we've seen 2 balls in the right bunker, and they both knocked it out for gimme par. So
no kidding.
Yeah, so the right bunker seems to be a very easy shot. So I'd say right is okay if you're in the flat of it. Not that I'd want to be there. What do you think, Dottie? This is that position at the top we'll watch for, huh?
Yeah, I mentioned that she's had, over the course of her career, difficulty with the club getting across the line. In this situation, pointed right of the target. Trying to work it back on plane. For her, it feels like it would be left of the target.
Well, what's got a bug there wanting to get on national TV?
It appeared to be.
Some final group. You've got Ochoa, the top-ranked player in the world. Christy Kerr occupies the 5th spot in the world, and young Morgan Pressel, at 19 years old, is ranked number 6.
What's going on here, Roger?
Well, I don't know. You know, she's not comfortable with her swing. She's made that clear. So.
You made the point earlier, Donnie, that Christy kind of slows up at times.
We saw this in Charleston a month ago. She got herself in contention and then hit the brakes.
Well, that was a good swing right there.
Right.
A little left,
Right.
maybe.
Dead
This
right.
ball
Dead right.
toward
Dead
the center
right.
of the
Right.
green.
Right.
I like the way she used the right side there, Roger. Just flowed right through the ball and made that good strike with the face square. So that's going to give her some confidence. It's a super hard hole, and she's got a birdie putt.
Ochoa had that magical eagle here in the first round. Looking for a little more magic here.
Well, now Curtis put some pressure on Ochoa.
Roger, is that hybrid?
Looks to be from here, Dottie. I believe it is. Got a very good lie, 187.
This is what her equivalent of a 4-iron is.
This ball toward the center of the green as well. Comes up a little short, maybe. Get up on.
Nope, short of the green, about 80 feet away.
So not quite as special as it was on Thursday when she found a fairway bunker, took her 5-wood from 195 yards out. And when you're trying to win a major championship, you need a little help like this. She said it was a perfect shot, and it just ran and hid for an eagle.
Yowzer.
Jie Shin, third shot at 15. 64 yards.
This is the birdie she needs right here, Gary.
Be careful, be careful, be careful. Oh, there it goes.
Very unlucky. Very unlucky. 1 foot too far.
Pine Needles forces you to be so precise, even from 60 some odd yards.
All right, Angela Park next, Mark.
Well, she's got 61, and she certainly doesn't want to hit at 64.
Remember, she hit this fat twice this morning, didn't she, Gary?
Made bogey here, yes.
Yeah.
She sure did.
Yeah, I hope she's not thinking that.
I would think you'd want to try to bring this in a little lower than Shin tried to. Landed a little short and skip it back to the hole.
Get that shot like NB did.
Just doesn't quite get the run. We go back to 14.
Morgan Pressel, Roger.
Yeah, there's a chip shot across the width of the green here, and we'll move to her right a little downhill. She's made a couple of these today, but she's also bogeyed this hole twice out of 3 rounds.
Crisply struck. Too crisp, well, Dottie.
That's going to be tough coming back.
You really want to watch that, folks. When you hit a shot like that, you should really watch it as it rolls by the hole, because if she's watching that, she knows it's about 2 inches outside right edge right now.
Free read.
Yeah, it is. You got to watch it. Don't turn away and say bite.
16.
Just a moment ago, Dan. NB Park, while not in the bunker, actually had a reasonably good lie in the rough and played a marvelous second shot. Back to 14.
Ochoa came up short.
Just move from left to right when it gets up on the green.
She gave it a little bit of scoop at impact, Roger, but not too bad. Just a little cup of the left wrist while the ball was on the face.
Well, 22 major championships without a win for Lorena Ochoa. I mean, that's not a long time, but it's just been her ascent to the top spot in the world, which has put even more focus on her trying to get this first one. These are the best career finishes for Lorena. The one, Cherry Hills, really stings the worst. A couple of years ago when she was one back and had a chance and put the tee ball in the water.
Back at 15, Shin's fourth, par 5.
Boy, I'm not sure what she was trying to do there, Gary. She either had to, I think, roll it up the hill or fly it onto the green, but she didn't either.
Go back to 14.
Christy Kerr, all of a sudden this leaderboard feels like it might pull back here a bit.
Yeah, it could be all 3 players make 4s here, but that could be different too. It could be 1 4 and 2 5s.
Yep.
Got to be careful with the speed here, this downhill.
She's been good, hasn't she, with her speed? Putted phenomenally well this morning. Wow.
Pretty much all week that's been the story, Dottie,
She
right?
had a couple get away from her early on in the week, and she has been terrific since.
What's this do, Roger?
Johnny, I don't see a lot here. I think it's kind of down the fall line.
That's why I was asking you. No, it's a tough read.
Baited you right into using that word.
Yeah.
Moves to 5 under with a lead by 1.
What a 3.
And it might get even bigger.
Could be a 2-shot swing. Could have a 2-shot lead.
Get on a hole which has not given up very many birdies all championship week long. That's the 11th all week at 14. And Kerr got it at a crucial time.
Up at 15, Angela Park for birdie mark.
And she could hear that roar all the way over here, Gary, from that 14th green.
Been a tough putt to read. Just to go left and then actually try to go back right at the hole, but she reads it perfectly. Angela Park to 4 under.
Golden girl.
Guess what? Christy Kerr could hear that.
Oh man, the nerves are going to come on now. She knows she's right there.
Back to 14.
Kerr, the championship leader, outright. And now we've got some pars to attend to here.
Well, like you said, Johnny, she should have taken a good look at this going by the hole. It's going to go back uphill and move to her left. Got to get it off the hole on the right-hand side.
Got the line and the line on the putter itself lined up beautifully.
You can see it perfectly from here.
Pushed it.
Yeah, well, she was aiming out there. It looked like too. She should have aimed where the ball is now and did a little push too. You're right.
Pressel comes to this hole just 2 back and all of a sudden is 4 behind.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, maybe it's going to break 5-6 inches where she was aiming, but I thought it was just outside right 2 inches, and she overread it.
And Ochoa comes to this hole tied for the lead, could be 2 behind.
She should make this putt, Roger. It's not that hard a putt, is it?
No, it just moves a little bit to the right, but
it's right where you want to be if you're going to have, what is it, 4 or 5 footer?
yeah, 4.5. Yeah, that's about right. But sometimes, as Dottie's noted, sometimes she moves her head on these little ones, and this at times can be a weakness for her.
Well, she is the best player in the world.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Flex putt by Ochoa. But it's Christy Kerr who reels off her second birdie at a difficult hole to take the lead by 1 with 4 holes to play. U.S. Women's Open Championship is being brought to you by Lexus, exclusive vehicle of the USGA and U.S. Open Championships. By MasterCard, there are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Transamerica, get what you want with the power of the pyramid. And now that final group is headed to a reachable par 5 15th. That's where we go now.
Up at the green, Shin for par.
Must make, huh, Gary? Here.
I would certainly think so, Johnny. Well, looking forward to breaking it. Would not.
That's a killer 6, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is. Well, the MetLife Blunt Snoopy 1 is cruising the skies high over Pine Needles Lodge and Golf Club to provide aerial coverage of the Women's U.S. Open. The Blunt typically cruises at a speed of about 45 miles an hour and an altitude of some 1,200 feet. So look for the MetLife Blunts as they cover golf throughout the year.
What a great looking shot there. We see the 15th hole right here. Excuse me.
Yeah, new tee here, 75 yards, turned it into a par 5 from the par 4 that it was in 2001. And John Folk told us that this was in the original design Donald Ross's favorite hole from all the research that he could come up with.
Well, let's see if Christy Kerr thinks that after this she plays it. I like it.
This going up the right side of the fairway should be very good.
Well, fairway slopes pretty severely from right to left, so should get a nice kick, and does. look at the play over the final 4 holes. Christy Kerr with quite the advantage, and Lorena Ochoa has really struggled, and a lot of that came with the double bogey she made at 17 in the opening round when she hit her second shot out of bounds.
See if she can turn it loose on Roger and take the advantage, you know, with her distance.
Important for her to hit a good tee shot here, you bet. Now this is turning left. It's going to miss left.
Uh-oh. It's sitting down on Gary a little. Just a touch.
Yeah, it is indeed, and that will eliminate any chance of her reaching the green in 2, you would think. Let's take another look at Christy Kerr's putt at the previous green at number 14. The hill, tracking right into the head of the hole. Christy Kerr takes the 1-shot lead, and we'll be right back in just a moment. Back at the 16th, Angela Park on the tee, 5-iron in hand, front left hole location.
Don't want to miss a left, huh, Gary?
No. Oh, it's headed a little left, Johnny. Oh, and it catches one of those shoulders, and that will be one tough bunker shot.
Almost impossible as you hit into that bank, and she knows it, huh?
Yeah. Back at 15. What's the situation, Roger?
Christy Kerr has 275 to the hole. The wind is helping, but have you seen people reach from this,
well,
from this distance?
Not from this distance, no. Sayri Pak knocked it on from 258 or 9, I think. And I wouldn't think that Christy has the firepower to reach it from that distance. Not an easy layup. A new bunker was put in the restoration, actually recovered from, again, the aerial photos that John Fote had from 1939. And it's up the right-hand side and really comes into play as, again, the fairway slopes severely from right to left. There's that bunker, Johnny, right there. Makes the layup a little bit awkward.
Yeah, because you got that second bunker, that this one here, the 1-2 punch.
Right,
so
everything wants to funnel toward the one on the right.
And if you're playing a draw, it's really hard to sneak it in there.
115 yards from the very back right of those newly recovered bunkers.
Because you have a draw lie, huh, Gary?
Yes, ball definitely above your feet.
So sneaky design by Mr. Roth.
And a pretty sneaky hole location.
Right.
This ball turning down the
Right.
left-hand side,
Right.
left center.
Right. Good.
It's actually going to be just fine.
She's holding it together, Gary.
Yeah, she's
so far
doing just what she needs to do so far, but you're right. And Ochoa next to play, Roger, and fairly good sized lip on this fairway bunker.
Right, I wouldn't think she could hit any more than 6-iron tops to clear this embankment immediately in front of it. She had a good lie, however, and this one's kind of hit to the right. That is not a good play.
This hole is killing her, Gary.
It certainly is. Has played it in 1 over par in the first 3 rounds. Hard to imagine with her length.
Let's take a look at this swing. If you can see anything from here, watch the face. And when she comes down, obviously she gets the handle, the head of the ball, and the face open. That's the only way you can hit it over there. You see how the club just slid with the heel in front of the toe. And, you know, doesn't work. She's in the sand now. Maybe she got good angle to the left hole location, though, doesn't she, Gary?
Yes.
Is the tree limb in her way?
That will be a question mark.
You can see the look on her face. She was in great shape 15 minutes ago, and all of a sudden now, if she don't watch out, she's going to be 2 or 3 behind.
All right, we'll move ahead to 16 and the bunker shot for Angela Park.
And it is a tough one, as you said, Gary. Very little green to work with. I would think anything 10 feet or so behind the hole would be a good shot.
She have to land it right here, Gary?
Yes, I would say maybe even a little short of that, John.
Into that bank?
Yeah, a little
There's
knob
bank
right
here.
there. Yeah. That's got to scoop by. That was carried just too far.
Well, you got to get it out.
Well, you do. Back at 15. Russell deciding what she's going to do, Roger.
Well, a very long discussion between she and her caddy about this, and if I could read her body language, I don't know that she's comfortable with the club she's pulled. Looks like she's pulled a 3-wood to me.
Driver.
Oh,
Driver.
Here we go.
Driver.
Drum roll.
Well, she's 4 behind.
Taking some big, fast practice swings, Gary.
Dottie, how often do you practice this nowadays, though?
Not very.
I wouldn't think so either.
And this shot, I think, has gotten so much more difficult with these big-headed drivers.
She's hit it low down the right-hand side.
Trying to get it to chase. It's trying.
It's a good shot.
It's a very good shot. Comes up about 5 yards short of the green. Great angle.
A lot of green.
So an aggressive play. Let's take another look, Johnny, at the contact.
Yeah, she plays it on the toe there. See how big that head of the driver is, and watch a good strike at the bottom. Gets the ball in the grass. Yep, just ticks the grass. You don't have to take a divot, folks. Just brush the grass.
Move ahead to 17.
And the third for NB Park, who's a 2-under. Can't afford to lose a shot here.
She has hit some tremendous chip shots in the last 3 holes.
So she's hanging in there, needs that to stay at 2-under, and then has the par 4 18th to go.
Well, she's got a chance to win and also a chance to make the biggest check she's ever seen.
While they look those over, we're heading to Whistling Straits for the United States Senior Open Championship. The coverage on NBC begins at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Hale Irwin and company will be there as Alan Doyle defends 2 crowns. 2-time defending U.S. Senior Open champion.
An unlikely champion if you look at him from a distance, but boy, he's got a big heart.
Yep, that's what it takes to win these.
Angela Park looking over her par putt now at 17, or excuse me, at 16.
Did she watch this shot go by the hole when she was in the bunker, or was it too deep? Because it went right past the cup, and she could see that this putt is going to break left.
Yeah, I did not notice her watching Johnny real closely, but it definitely looks like it's going left to me.
Tough thing here has been the speed, Johnny. A lot of players just not hitting the putt firmly enough.
Well, she's jacked up, and this will be the biggest putt of her career. 18 years old, chance to win the U.S. Women's Open.
Oh, she had a good putt.
Wow, that was a good putt, Mark.
Yes, it was. Did everything but go in.
Back at 15, and this does not look good, Roger.
Well, the lie is as good or better than she could have hoped for. A clean lie over here, but she does have a tree limb immediately in front of her. She's going to have to keep the ball underneath. 136 yards of the hole. Going to have to try to run the ball up.
Danger here if it carries a little too
got a
far.
lot
It's
of
going to
speed.
go over the green.
This hole is causing her maybe to lose the championship.
And that is not an easy place to get it up and down from.
This morning she was in the right rough, nice little pitch shot chunk, and had a problem with this hole, huh?
Yeah, she certainly has, surprisingly. Head to 17.
And you might have heard a little cheer a moment ago. It was at 17. Saeed Pak had this for birdie.
Runner up here in 2001.
It's a very flat green. That's a rare birdie.
And it's so good to see Saeed Pak playing well again. The player that caused all of these South Koreans to come over here and give this LPGA Tour a shot in the United States moves to 1 under. Second birdie in the last 3 holes, and Again, her game was just about as low as it could possibly be a couple of years ago.
Came right out and said she hated the game.
Yeah, and what a turnaround for her. So she's at 1 under with 1 to play.
Johnny, the one thing she's got to be careful of here, don't hit it too
Better
far.
be quiet, please. Thank you.
Just what can happen.
What an opportunity she has, huh, Gary, to win a major. And she could have a 2-shot lead after this hole. Maybe, yeah. Maybe 3, actually.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe a 3-shot lead.
So hard to get this kind of shot to the hole, though, knowing that if you do hit it just a fraction too hard, it's going to run on through.
Go.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. This could miss the green.
Left.
This could miss the green.
That might be one of the uglier chip shots ever.
It was not very good, Johnny. Hey, she had a ton of room to the right.
It's one thing to hit it chunky, but another thing to pull chunk it.
All right, Morgan Pressel watching all this, I'm sure, anxiously, Roger, and she's got to be thinking, hey, if I can get this near the hole, pick up some ground.
Yeah, I mean, she certainly left herself in the right position. This not an overly complicated looking chip here from this angle.
Such a simple chipping motion.
It's got a lot of energy in there.
Oh, no, checked up.
She got scared of going long, Gary.
That's what you would have to think, Johnny.
Well,
Shake of the head.
There's a lot of nerves between here and the barn, Roger.
The magnitude of this championship, I think we've just seen come into clear view right now with 4 holes left.
It's the biggest championship in women's golf, and it's the richest championship. These ladies are playing for first prize of $560,000, $3.1 million.
It's not like the men's tour where some will say they have a preferred major they want to win. I mean, Dottie, you can speak to this. This is the championship, the most important by everyone.
Yeah, no question. I said it when we came on the air on Thursday. It's the putt to win the Open that everybody dreams about as a kid. It's the putt you practice, the chip shot you practice. It's what you want the most.
You had your major titles. I know how badly you wanted to win this championship.
Yeah, this one just, it stands out.
She's going to try a shot here that is very, very difficult to do. Try to hit it high on a downslope. And when you do that, a lot of times you scoop it short.
Short here is not an option.
I see players do this all the time. The back of the 18th green at Bay Hill in the old days, they'd have that downslope and try to add loft at the bottom and end up hitting it short. But I think it's a better play here.
That's certainly the safer play.
I didn't like that other action she was trying.
I agree with you. This ball on this downslope, trying to pitch that ball up in the air onto the green would have been pretty risky.
Remember in practice when you're staying down on them.
Gary?
Well, the one thing that a lot of the players were commenting about earlier in the week, Johnny, was with the event later in the year than it's been played here in the past. This Bermuda grass, very sticky from the grain, so tough to hit this firmly enough, covering this much of it with a putter without hitting it too hard.
Not bad, really, is it?
I don't think she could have gotten it closer with any other play. That's really what she had to do.
You can see she's gritting her teeth there, the jaw muscles. You can look at that look in her face.
She may have an air of happy-go-lucky about you, but
no, she wants
she'll
this
get
so
warm.
bad. She wants this so badly, Roger. It's, you know, you can almost taste it.
Yeah, I think she felt like she played the shot the way she wanted to, and was surprised it got that far past the hole. But I agree with how much she wants it. There's no question about that, John.
Kerr's little hiccup here, everyone, could really bring a lot of other folks back into this.
Well, and Christy Kerr has blown some head gaskets coming down the stretch in the past, and she's never had a chance to have a chance at a U.S. Women's Open like this. So there's no telling what might happen in the next 20, 30 minutes.
From the golf I've seen her play, I'm pretty surprised she hit this shot. Usually She's pretty spot on with course management, don't you think, Dottie?
I do. Usually she's very proficient around the green. She has made herself into a very good bunker player and she generally pitches the ball very well.
This one a pretty steep slope, Roger, right at the start.
Yes, it is, and then it'll level out. Moves 12 feet short of the hole or so.
Easy to leave it like 5 feet short, Gary?
Yes.
She's got this to the hole.
That's pretty well done.
Oh, we have a moment. Reminder to tune into NBCSports.com for the U.S. Women's Open wrap-up show. It's presented by Lexus. Check it out for highlights, player interviews immediately after our telecast.
And a beautiful look down from above at the 15th green. And Morgan Pressel with an opportunity for a birdie and a chance to get to 2 under.
That's a putt she dearly needs to make, isn't it?
Yeah, coming off a bogey on the tough 14th. You hate to go 5-5, Gary, under pressure.
This is one she can certainly be aggressive with back up the hill. Ahead to 17.
Angela Park is having some problems, Mark.
Terrible lie here. Pulled her tee shot. Skipped through the bunker, and all she can do is just kind of hook it down the right side of the fairway, and it'll end up in the rough. And that will not be a good spot.
Barely gets into the first cut of primary rough and settles down.
Park running into problems and running out of holes to make a challenge for this.
Yeah, she bogeyed the last hole on par 3, and now looks like another bogey at least on the tough 17.
Back to 15.
Ochoa's putt for par. Should turn a little left. Yes, she chases it right into the hole.
That's a whole bunch of heart right there.
That was not a pretty par, but that was one gutsy one.
Keeps her long consecutive par streak alive.
Yeah, 12 of them, but what a par putt. That was dead center.
That is huge.
Look at her. She's going, oh, vive. And she's a happy woman there. She's thinking, I really messed that hole up, but on the scorecard, it looks nice.
Well, how quickly things change now. Christy Kerr faced with this tricky little one for par to maintain the lead.
I would think this would probably be inside the right part of the cup, wouldn't it, Gary?
Yes, should turn just a little left, Roger.
I mean, ideally, this is like the quote-unquote the easiest putt you could have. Right center for a right-hander off 3 feet. But not in the U.S. Women's Open.
Not with just a few holes left and you're trying to win a major for the first time, much less this championship.
Good confident stroke. Christy Kerr retains the one-shot lead with just 4 holes left. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back at 16 and a good look at the front left hole location. And Johnny, I guess I got a little too excited. There are only 3 holes left.
Yeah.
But some great action going right now.
And don't go in that bunker right over here, folks. That is not good.
161 yards to the front edge, 169 yards to the hole location.
She's got to be looking at, what, the right center or center of the green, Roger?
I would think so, John. She's got 7 iron out, which it seems like a long way to hit a 7 iron. I don't think there's enough wind to help that much. We'll see.
Maybe she's going to play it back in her stance and get that draw.
She'd better step on it.
It's a full swing.
The left is a good ball.
Ball hit very high.
Left.
To the right side of the green.
That was a good call, Roger.
Yeah. Not a bad lead, though, from there. We go up to 18.
NB Park trying to make some noise on the way in here. Second shot from the rough a moment ago. Again, she's a 2 under as she plays this final hole.
Interesting shot, Dottie.
Well, trying to chase it forward. The one thing she can't do is miss it left, and she's protected very nicely against doing that. That was a really cool shot. You bet.
Yeah, that was nice. Little half swing.
And if somehow NB Park can post 3 under and wait, who knows?
Well, she's got to be really happy with that because, you know, like I said, it's a huge check for her, and it's a great moment, and maybe even a win. Who knows?
Yeah, just 18 years old, NB Park.
Ochoa now at 16.
This is a 7 iron as well. Ball hit very, very high and the right.
And that comes up well short. Players only hitting this green 39% of the time today. And a very straightforward par 3 as we go to 17.
Angela Park's third.
Tough to get the right distance on this shot because you don't know the spin rate that you're going to get off the club face. Yeah, that's a heck of a good shot. That's very makeable.
Right under the hole. Really well done.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be quite the par.
Yeah, she can coax that in and remain at 3 under with 18 to play. 16.
Bressel on the tee.
This ball turning left.
Beautiful finish.
Will it jump up? No, it's going to catch one of those shoulders. Not bad, though. Well, Christy Kerr holds the 1-shot lead. She and Lorena Ochoa both have missed the green at 16. Can she hang on? Well, stay with us. We'll be right back. And back at the 16th. Ochoa first to play.
Got a little dueling banjos here. Similar pitches.
Yeah.
See who can do the best plan.
Nicely done by Ochoa. Got it on the ground very quickly. Let it run out to the hole. We go to 18.
NB Park trying to post 3 under.
Talked to her teacher this morning. The game plan was to make at least 3 20-footers today that mattered.
She needed that one big time, and has just coasted it well by.
Yeah, now she's got to make a 5-footer.
Her hopes dim considerably, and now for her par. Angela Park needs this to stay in it.
Oh boy, I think she played it to be straight and it broke, and I think it probably broke her heart right there.
Back-to-back bogeys for Park's going to drop to 2 under and back over to 16.
And Kerr's in second, and Roger, it really is a very straightforward little chip, isn't it?
It really is. It's a very simple chip. It's going to break a little bit to her left. She's Ochoa's ball. It's really virtually the same kind of shot.
Go,
Oh, that's got to go. That's got to go.
Sounded thin and a little clunky.
Nervous time.
So
You can see Ochoa, even the look on her face is just, man, it's just filled with emotion and pressure, and you know, this is big stuff.
Well, we've seen Morgan Pressel chip in a couple of times already in this championship. Roger, this one makeable?
Well, this would be a pretty neat chip in. I'll tell you that. She's down below in this low area. It's
like
doable, but she's got to hit a really good shot.
Is that 4 feet below the green surface, Roger, or 5? 4?
No, I don't think that much,
Not
John.
much, but so it's doable with her wedges she's got with those big grooves.
We've got a great effort. You can see her disappointment. We go to 17.
And Angela Park for back-to-back bogeys here, Mark.
And one that she absolutely has to make.
And she's going to have to, maybe birdie 18 and hope for some help. And Up ahead at 18, Se-Ri Pak for birdie. What a back nine this has been for Se-Ri. Birdie's at 15, 17. Just to get to 2 under.
There's a little left.
And 18. And how about the final round? 68 for Se-Ri. Low final round of the day.
Yeah, it's probably a good chance for close to $200,000 paycheck for her.
This has been a good place for her. Runner-up last time, as I mentioned.
And back over at 16. Christy Kerr, 4 par to remain at 5 under.
Got any feelings whether she'll make this or not, guys? It's you know, she's putting great, but after the tentative chip shot, does she have the insides or Dottie to go ahead and make a good stroke?
Well, it's been two tentative chip shots really in a row, but she does have a wonderful putting stroke. Sticks to her routine.
Confident. Wow.
Very impressive.
Up to 18.
Inbee Park to post like Se-Ri, 2 under.
Her idol, Se-Ri.
Yeah.
Terrific championship.
For just an 18-year-old who you're probably going to hear a lot more from in the future. Semi-finalist of the U3 Women's Amateur Championship. Won the girls junior back in 02.
Yeah, most likely a tie for 3rd, which is really good. Really good.
Back to 16.
And Pressel eyeing this putt for par. And Dottie, you know this young lady very well. I'm sure she's going to look back on this final round and be quite disappointed.
Well, I mean, she definitely has a winner's mentality. I know she was upset at the LPGA Championship when she had a chance to get leg 2 of what would have been the Grand Slam, and came in here extremely prepared. She expected to win.
She just didn't hit it close to the hole very often if you really analyze it. You know, not many close birdie putts.
Sometimes it's awfully tough, Johnny, to get it into the house when you know you have no chance to win when you were there for so long.
Yeah, that's true. She's that, was that for +3 for the day?
Yes.
Well, those are the times when you really find out what's really in your belly. When you don't have a chance to win, but you have to grind it into the house.
Reminds me of what you did back in 01 here.
I definitely had no chance.
With Kari Webb running away with it, you gave us a nice little show at the end. We needed it. You finished 3rd that year.
Pressel drops back to even par for the championship.
Got the same year, Gary, when Morgan Pressel was moved to tears after missing the cut. Pair of 77s at the time, the youngest qualifier in the history of this championship.
Still, you think about it though, Dan. 12 years old in the Women's Open and shoot a pair of 77s.
I know.
That was that really was a sign of what was to come.
Even what Alexis Thompson did this week, just terrific.
Yep, even younger than Morgan.
Well, it just moves a titch to the right, doesn't it?
Yeah, shouldn't be a whole lot there, Johnny, if it's struck firmly. Well, nicely done. Good up and down for Ochoa. She remains 1 behind as they take the short walk to the 17th.
And what a tough 17th hole. The toughest fairway to hit on the golf course. At 58% of the field is hitting it. More double bogeys and higher than birdies for the week. And the 2nd toughest hole at a 4.5 average.
This U.S. Women's Open is being brought to you by Prudential Financial. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. By ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. And by BP. So we've got the final group heading over to the tough 17th. 2nd toughest hole back in the 2001 Women's Open. And it is a bear of a hole.
It is. It's just this bunker that we're coming to right now on the corner is really in play. It's like very unusual to have a tight dog leg with a bunker on the inside of the dog leg. It's very rare. It's very awkward. But sets up nice for a draw. And
This is going a little too far left, trying to take it across the bunker.
Oh, she's crossed it.
beauty. That is phenomenal. She couldn't hit it any better.
That's in the neighborhood of 270 yards to carry it all the way on that line.
Kerr's got some confidence on this hole.
And she's hitting it longer. I think she knows from her experience she's jacked up. And in her case, not everybody hits it farther when you're jacked up, but she does.
She's played a 1 under so far this week and in good position. And Ochoa, 1 behind with everybody else kind of fizzling out. It's come down to the 2 best players in the game without a major here, separated by 1 shot.
Remember this morning she hit one so far down there she had just a 9-iron to this green.
But she also made a double bogey in the opening round where she hit one out of bounds.
Yeah. But,
out of bounds with her second.
Kerr has put a lot of pressure on her to hit this fairway, this tough fairway to hit. And the line is right over here.
Tugged her last driver.
A lot of speed at the bottom there, and it's going left.
It's
maybe
going left.
Uh-oh.
That is the shot
There,
that
dropped out in the bunker, or by that grass, that long grass. It dropped down right in this area here.
Shot that has plagued her in pressure situations. And it's gone left again for Lorena Ochoa at the second to last hole. It is in the bunker, we understand. So it's Cristie Kerr in good shape at 17 and has a 1-shot lead. Here is Ochoa's tee shot at the par 4 17th, finding the tree above the bunker. You'll see it come down right there. It hit the bank of the bunker on the downslope and then trickled down to that spot right there. And we talked about 2005 at Cherry Hills, where she was playing a couple of hours ahead of the final group, stood on the 72nd tee at 3 over par, just was 1 off the lead and hit this about 6 inches behind the ball into the water. Ended up with a quadruple bogey 8. She was 4 behind champion Birdie Kim, so a par on 18 would have tied her for the lead there. Now this is the second to last hole at this U.S. Women's Open, Dottie, and here we see it again.
Same sort of shot, and what she does at the top is get a little bit loose. It forces her to force the tempo with her hands. She gets quick.
Slap
Left.
hook. It's a slap hook too. It's just a going rainbow hook left, both of them.
In South Carolina at the Ginn Tribute, we saw her hit it left in the hazard.
Well, look
down the stretch there.
Look at her face now. You know, you can see she's just really, really upset right now.
She should be.
Well, it's not over. You know,
No,
she laid up to 90 yards
got a
and
chance here, right?
make one of those hard to weight pars, and who knows, Cristie Kerr might do something weird, and it'll be, you know, all level going into 18. You know, it could happen. A lot of times, if you lay it up to a good number, Roger, you make par half the time, huh?
Sure, I agree with that. And she's also holed one with fairway wood from a bunker this week.
Yeah, she's got another fairway wood
She's
out
going
here.
to try to go for it, and there is a pretty good lip right here. You can see the lip, how high it is. You know, I don't know. I guess it's okay, Roger. Is this a good
It is.
smart shot?
She doesn't have to play across that. So this is okay.
From 225, Raj.
225, got to make good contact. That's the issue.
What a shot.
Topped it. And they're right on top of the ball, and it's in the primary rough and looked to settle down.
I think she should have laid it up to a good number. That is just asking too much.
Another Women's Open unraveling for Ochoa.
Let's take a look at this swing. Watch to see if she stays nice and level. Her head goes up, and then if she drops down, then you can see her head doing all kinds of motions there. She has a very unusual head movement coming down. Watch her head. Let's just take a look at this right here. Watch what happens up here at the top. Really does some unusual things. It turns the wrong way and then comes around. And she has that grooved. I'm not going to say that's a criticism, but when you're out of the bunker, that's tough to do.
Up ahead at 18 while Lorena was hitting. This was the second for Park at 2 under, coming off back-to-back bogeys at 16 and 17.
I'll tell you what, 3 under still in this thing. If she could make birdie here, she has a decent chance that Kerr might finish bogey.
All sorts of scenarios, you're right, still in play, and now we're live with Angela here on the green at 18. Needs this to get to 3 under.
And this just gently breaks to the left a little bit.
Coming off back-to-back bogeys.
It's not that hard to putt.
And finally, Angela Park's putter heats up here at a great time.
What a time to make a putt.
So the 18-year-old is still alive.
And most likely, at worst, she's going to finish second in this championship. And there is a chance that she could be in a playoff. A decent chance. I'm telling you, with the pressure, who knows what might happen.
And it was a pretty big roar at 18. I wonder if that got down to the 17th fairway.
I didn't hear much of it out here, so I doubt it.
There's a lot of trees
kind of going the other way.
A lot of trees between here and where she is on the 18th green.
Just now from 176 yards, Johnny, and I would imagine the center of that green looks pretty inviting right now.
She's going to try another 7-iron. She hit it on the last, on the par 3.
Yep.
She was short there.
Yeah, Christy!
But she's hit it solid, very high, and at the center of the green.
Go!
She's playing good golf, Roger. She's really playing good, solid golf. Just gotta be feeling good about herself, don't you think, Dottie?
Well, I think so. I think she, in that situation, she underclubbed again, but she underclubbed in the proper position.
She's feeling really good right now. She has no idea Angela Park made that birdie on the 18th hole. So she's looking at Ochoa, and Ochoa's unraveling. She's figuring, hey, I'm on the green. And have 2 or 3 shot lead on Ochoa maybe, and so I've got this thing. She doesn't know that Park is at -3.
3 very dangerous words. I've got it.
Yeah. Roger, this thing could do anything from this lie.
Yeah, it's just over 160 yards. I didn't get a chance to see the lie, John.
It hung on the top of the grass for like 2 seconds, and then it just sunk. Just anything on the middle of the green would be nice. Got to go for a miracle up and in.
This one needs to get a hop.
It does.
Tell you what, that's pretty good.
This is a great recovery for Ochoa.
How about that distance control out of that lie?
So Angela Park is the leader in the clubhouse at 3 under. Kerr on in regulation at 17, and Ochoa scrambling to stay in it. As Christy Kerr walked up to the 17th green, as Morgan Pressel is playing out of the bunker here. Talk about that in just a moment. I understand, Roger Maltby, that Christy Kerr did not take the slightest look at the leaderboard, did she?
Well, as a matter of fact, I think every time she looked anywhere else other than straight ahead, it was to the left, to the opposite side. So every quote she's made this week talking about her golf is really all about the process. If I do the things I'm supposed to do, if I perform the way I should perform, then the score will take care of itself. It's irrelevant to her in many ways, she says. So that's not surprising at all.
That's not a lot different than what the guys say, a lot of them on the regular men's tour, is that if they just do their pre-shot routine perfectly, then the outcome will be there. So it's all about the preparation.
Staying in the moment here and not getting ahead of yourself, and not for one instant thinking about lifting the biggest championship in the game. It's so hard to do.
You know, sometimes when I think you're struggling with your swing a little bit, the way Christy has admitted she has, it forces you to do that even more so. You can't afford to get ahead of yourself because your confidence isn't really flowing at its max.
Well, I'm very impressed with the putts she's made. A couple of the chips were a little, not the most wonderful, but Roger, all in all, that drive she just hit there and a quality iron shot with the 7-iron, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if she might not have pulled that driver just a little bit. I don't know if that was exactly the line she wanted it on, but
whatever it was awfully good.
It was perfect when it came to rest.
Well, her putter's been her friend for the whole championship. See if it continues here.
And a putter she actually bought.
In Korea, of all places. Good speed.
Very good speed.
That par is great on this tough hole. She's very pleased with that leave.
Chose a long way away for hers.
Well, see if there's a couple Sandys here involved, Roger, on this tough 17th.
Well, this would be a minor miracle for her here. If Ochoa could hold this putt, my goodness. Tee shot. Really, I'm not so sure she didn't get a great break that bounced out into the bunker. It was turning left. If it hits a tree and goes left, problems could have been worse. Tops the second shot.
Yeah.
Heavy rough. This would be a great escape here.
This would be one of the great up and ins.
Yeah, this doesn't go down. It's a two-shot lead.
Not a hard putt. A very flat green, Roger.
Yeah, there's not much break in this putt.
Gave it a good run.
Oh, she hit it right where she wanted, and it broke maybe an inch and a half, just enough to make it miss. She usually goes the other way if it's going to go in. Wow, what a good, brave effort, really, to get that up and in from where she was in 2. But Kerr's going to have a 2-shot lead with 1 hole to go.
Ochoa had gutted out 13 consecutive pars until this bogey here. Comes on a hole where an old swing flaw crept back in.
Yeah, those things haunt you. But
and this will, you know, I mean, at other majors, this is going to carry on.
she put herself in position, and it's not over yet. Birdie bogey. That's all you need on 18 is a birdie bogey.
We've seen those.
That could happen quite easily.
Christy Kerr had an opportunity last year at the Women's British. Made a bogey at 16, doubled 18, ended up losing by 3 shots to Sherry Steinhauer. So she has had trouble when she's had the opportunity at a major, and not so long ago.
Well, Dottie, wouldn't you want to know, standing on the 18th tee, how you stood?
There is no question, especially when there's a shot that demands a shape like the tee shot at 18.
This is to stand 6th place at even par. Having a tough finish, isn't she?
It's going to be her 3rd bogey in the last few holes. +4 in the round for Morgan Pressel, who began the day began the final round just 1 behind Kerr.
She's taking a lot of time on this dead straight putt. Just trying to find a break when there's no break. They're just walking off the nerves.
Well, I just think this is kind of the way she goes about business, John. She, no matter how short a putt, no matter how easy a putt, she is extremely thorough.
Turned pro out of high school, played on her high school team with the boys. I mean, she was such an incredible amateur player. Won 22 of her last 25 amateur events before turning pro. And again turned professional just after becoming the low amateur here at Pine Needles in '96, and she's got the 2-shot lead with 1 left.
They're gone, right?
Final group at the 18th. Christy Kerr with a 2-shot lead at this 413-yard par 4.
Stand still on the right, please. Thank you.
Well, she's never hit a bigger tee shot in her life than this one, Dottie.
No, she certainly hasn't. Ideally, it would come in from the right. It is a little bit downwind, but a miss to the left is really bad news. That is some of the thickest rough on the entire golf course.
And the flare to the right in the trees is no good. I don't hear her caddy saying good shot.
This ball should be okay, right down the fairway line, or the rough line on the left. Did it reach the fairway?
That's
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great shape.
Yeah.
Right down the middle. It's going to make it even tougher for Ochoa to get that 2-shot swing. Worth mentioning at this point that if there was to be a playoff, it would be the first 3-hole aggregate playoff in U.S. Women's Open Championship history, as they went to that format for this championship for the first time.
Roger?
I lost sight of it. She's leaning left, though.
It's up the right in the rough.
Sort of a response to probably the last hole, Dottie.
So Kerr in good shape, looking for her first major championship. We'll be back for the finish here, but we go to Bill Patrick now for the Lincoln Financial NBC Sports Report.
Welcome back to the U.S. Women's Open. A few minutes ago, Angela Park birdied the 18th hole to get to 3 under par. Did you think you had a chance to win when you hold that putt?
Of course, anything could go wrong on 17, especially because it's such a long hole and playing really hard today. I didn't keep my hopes up, but you know, we'll wait until the leaders are done.
You played the first 2 rounds with Christy Kerr. You told me you had a premonition about Christy.
Oh yeah, I felt like she was going to win this tournament, even though I was in the lead coming into the 3rd round. I felt like she was playing really well. She was putting extremely well, which you have to have when you come to U.S. Opens.
Regardless of the outcome, it was a great championship for you.
Oh yes, definitely.
Dan?
Thank you, Mark. And as Christy Kerr comes up to her ball right in the middle of the fairway, we remind you about the MetLife blimp and thank everybody on board there. Look for the East Coast-based Snoopy 1 and West Coast-based Snoopy 2 as they fly across the country this summer, covering a sporting or special event near you.
Roger, where are you?
Well, I'm just here off the right side of the fairway, John, and Russell's left herself 157. The angle's not good. Ball sitting down just a little bit. But,
nice little soft draw. Wouldn't be bad, though, huh?
Wouldn't be bad at all. It'd be what you'd want.
It's been a lot of balls 15, 20 feet right of the hole and a little short, Roger. It seems to be a popular spot and doesn't break much from there.
Well, you can certainly tell looking from the fairway that left is not good.
No,
so I would think that would be your first instinct.
It has a big fall off, about 5 feet of fall off if you go there, 5 feet below the green if you're by those left edge of those bunkers.
There's only 7 yards left, and all of that really doesn't matter.
No, it'd be nice to see Morgan play the last hole well, though. She's been struggling 3 out of the last 4 holes bogey.
Sit. Soft.
Yeah.
Good leave.
Not her best shot. And the shot of the championship right here.
Christy Kerr just get it aboard here. Green in regulation helps. You know, you start sliding off these Ross greens and you start bringing anything into play.
And like I said, a birdie bogey would be a playoff between her and Ochoa, so there's no guarantees yet.
Literally, with this hook lie, if you get this ball tumbling right to left, that 7 yards gets very, very tight. There's not a whole lot of room left.
She's flared a lot of irons to the right, and under pressure, sometimes you don't release the club if you're worried about going left.
Just from 146. And it's hit very high, and it's right at the hole, the right center of the green. Okay.
Kerr doing all the right things down the stretch to win her first major.
I would think that was probably within 2 feet of where she was aiming it.
Those were 2 pretty clutch shots there at 16 and 17. Both of those irons very smartly played.
Yeah, she's playing like a true champion.
All right, Ochoa needs a 2-shot swing. Just has to figure out a way to get this close.
Good lie.
.143 here, and this ball squirting at the very right side of the green.
That's not going to hold.
Let's see if that. No. I don't think so.
Squirter there, John Flyer.
Yeah, that pays the price for going in the rough.
So it appears it's going to be another miss for Lorena in a major championship.
Well, she chips it in.
And on the opposite end of the spectrum, this has to feel so good for Cristy Kerr to come up to 18 on in regulation with a 2-shot lead. Took on one of the biggest transformations you'll ever see a few years ago. Lost the 50 pounds, went from a size 16 to a size 2. One of those players that's always enjoyed the spotlight, but also another one of those players that hasn't exactly been the warm and fuzzy personality out here. But she's also transformed herself in that respect. And there's no way you can't respect her game, which in her 42nd major try, looks like that drought is finally going to be over. Didn't win on the first time, Dottie, until her 136th tournament. So lots of learning curves in the career of Cristy Kerr.
Well, she has learned a lot. It took her all those starts, finally won in Sacramento, but the last 3 years she has really asserted herself as one of the best players in the world with 8 wins in that time.
Well, she has won in the Canadian National Championship, right? The Canadian Open, so she can add the United States Open. That's a nice little double.
That's a nice little double win in that Canadian last year.
And there is a real caring side as well to Cristy Kerr. Her mom was diagnosed with breast cancer some 4 years ago, and Cristy Kerr has been just tirelessly active in breast cancer awareness. Donates $50 for every birdie she makes.
What a nice gallery, huh, Roger?
Terrific here at 18. Now going to ring the front of the green as well.
Yeah, all a British Open here. It's nice.
Such a great theater here at the 18th at Pine Needles without even trying.
Let's pan out to that gallery short of the green. They just come right in. It's very nice.
Free admission to all those children aged 17 and under, accompanied by a paid adult. So a lot of young folks out here
Pretty
watching
good
this
value
championship.
for your ticket the last couple of days. There's been a lot of golf played.
Yeah, if you got a lot of time on your hands waiting around for it to start and stop.
This would be very exciting somehow for Roger if there were this to go in. It'd just be real great theater to see if Cristy could two-putt.
I think these grandstands had come down around here. This one went in.
Yeah. It's asking for a lot, though. The odds of getting this up and in aren't even hardly 50%, I think. It's not that easy a shot, is it, with all that green and the rise?
Yeah, it's a very difficult shot, John. She's down below the green surface and pitching into an uphill slope, and then the green starts to run away. It's a very tough shot here to get close.
To get it up and in to have try Angela Park.
She's played it pretty doggone well.
Very nice. She wanted to make it, obviously.
You know, even through all this adversity that Lorena has felt today, she's just never come totally apart. I mean, she's made some clutch par putts to kind of stay in it.
She's learned from the experiences she's had down the stretch of these majors. And yeah, she got over a big hump last week, finally winning a playoff, and she'll have another chance next month.
What a great champion for the women's tour. At the theater now, Roger, who's going to play?
I'm sorry, John?
Pressel is next.
Well, this is going to give Cristy a very good idea, certainly, of the pace. This is a shot that will run uphill the last certainly 15 feet or so. Should move a little bit to her left. But Cristy can certainly gain something from watching this.
Needs to settle.
Well, I don't know that she needed to see that.
Long day just got longer.
Well, she's already +4 for the day, Pressel, and going for more. I thought she handled herself very well this round, even though she wanted to win this championship.
And always emotional, and we've seen tears throughout Morgan's career, and she's fighting them off right now.
She did the same thing after she finished the last round at the LPGA Championship. She pours her whole heart and soul in, and good time for those glasses.
Well, I think you could tell when she bogeyed at 14 and then didn't get it up and in when she was right in front of the 15th, par 5 and 2. Just all the air came out of her balloon at that point.
But already a major champion at age 19, just has a stellar career ahead of her.
Well, I hope she's a good one here. That was a tough shot. This is not easy. That's a great shot. That's not bad at all, Roger, from there.
Knew she was in good position to pick up her second major of the season, but a 3-putt will get it done for Cristie Kerr.
Well, I noticed as she walked to the 18th green, she did look over at the scoreboard here, so she knows exactly how she stands at this point. Waited till the very end to take a peek.
You know, we've spent all week long talking about all the great international players, all the Koreans, and all of the talent from around the globe, and looks like we're going to have just the 6th American to win a women's major in the last 27 championships.
And appropriately on Sunday, dressed in red, white, and blue.
And that putter she bought in Korea, if she had to claim the value at customs, it would have cost a lot, because it's now worth a lot of money.
Yeah, pretty good return on that investment, I'd say.
Crazy money.
Get up a little.
Nice and cozy.
Not surprising, so in control to the end.
Yeah, she deserved it. She deserved this. 5 under par is a heck of a score on this tough Pine Needles golf course with these new Donald Ross greens and fall-offs and new bunkers and deeper bunkers.
Well, that 14th hole, she making birdie there. That was just stand up and get the job done there, and hit a couple of clutch chip shots, clutch mid irons when it really mattered as well.
Pressel for bogey 5, and this is going to drop her to +2 at best.
I think this is for 9th place if she can get this in.
This will be a tie for 9th with Mi Hyun Kim and John Jang.
Not much break here. Inside the hole for sure. Oh boy, that's a tough one there. To make double bogey just in front of this green.
Slips into the group at +3. And Morgan Pressel shoots a 77. Those are the same scores she shot as the youngest qualifier back in 2001. But she was in it until letting it slip away down the stretch here. Tie for 10th for the 19-year-old Pressel.
That's a great feeling right now. Sit there with a 2-shot lead and got a foot putt left.
She won't get out of that game face mode. I mean, some players you see at this point, you know, allow themselves a smile and maybe a hug from a caddy, but Kerr is business down to the wire here. Your good save here for Ochoa.
Yeah, this is worth a few dollars right here.
Time for 2nd. So Lorena will have to wait for her major championship day to come later. 71 for her. 37 coming home in the back nine. And Kerr is just going to look at this just like she's been looking at all of them all week. Nothing out of the routine here, Johnny.
Oh, that's almost crazy.
It's just, you know, that's her process that she's talked about all week.
She's been very businesslike about her entire approach this week.
Championship, the biggest one of all, and finally just overcome with emotion. The 2007 U.S. Women's Open champion.
No feeling like it in women's golf.
Pretty close connection there. Morgan was in Christie's wedding in December.
And this large throng will come in, hug around the 18th green to celebrate with Cristie Kerr, and we go down to Roger Maltbie.
Christy, many people said that you and Lorena were the two best players not to have won a major. I guess they can't say that about you anymore, can they? How's it feel?
No, you know, today was my day. Obviously, that birdie at 14 was unbelievable, you know, and to hold it together coming in and make some big putts all week, you know, it's just a dream come true. And you know, Lorena's up and down at the last really shows what kind of person she is, and she deserves it.
Well, it was a well-earned victory. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Back up to you, Dan.
Thank you very much, Roger. And she talked about that crucial birdie putt at 14. That's her husband, Eric Stevens. He formed a sports marketing company, recruited Kerr a few years ago. They became very close friends and eventually got married. And she accepts some more congratulations. This was the birdie putt at the tough par 4 14th that Cristie was talking about.
Yeah, the field was playing this about a 4.5 average. She picks up a shot and a half from the field right there.
That got her to that 500 number and parred her way in while Ochoa bogeyed the 17th. That gave Kerr the outright lead at that point. And Cristie Kerr, that American flag, sitting on top of a major championship. Final round 70 by 2 over Ochoa. And Angela Park at 18 years old ties for second. Sayri Pocket a nice late charge as well. Remember to go to NBCSports.com for the U.S. Women's Open wrap-up show presented by Lexus. Next weekend at 3 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC, it's the U.S. Senior Open Championship. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's your local news that at 7, 6 Central, it's an all-new Dateline NBC, followed by the Princess Diana Tribute Concert, Law and Order, and Law and Order SVU, all on NBC. Thanks to all of the hard-working men and women of our crew, tough weather week, and also thanks to all of our announcers, the guys in the truck, Johnny Miller, Dottie Pepper, Gary Koch, Roger Maltbie, Mark Rolfing, Jane Crafter. I'm Dan Hicks saying so long from Pine Needles. Cristie Kerr has the biggest title in her sport, U.S. Women's Open champion.